Well, Jay has done it again. Every time Jay hits me with a message or email, it's to show me a beautiful garden that he has designed. We've seen your home garden up here in West Jefferson. We're actually in the mountains for this one as well. We've seen an incredible installation in Charlotte. I'll have those videos linked down below for you guys who haven't seen them. Jay, for folks who may not have seen those videos, will you introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Jay Sifford. I'm a garden designer based out of Charlotte, and I have a second home half an hour from here, and this is as close to heaven as I've ever been.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. So these are friends of yours who had contacted you, reached out. Your landscape installation business is actually kind of Charlotte-based.
It is,
Right.
and I actually knew them from Charlotte. We were on a garden tour, citywide garden tour like 10 or 12 years ago, and I got to know them then and kind of followed them up here.
Gotcha. And this is literally on the top of a mountain. We could not be any higher up on this mountain, right?
So down below, it's 6B, 7A. Up here, it's probably 6A, if not colder than that, because we're at about 4,500 feet altitude.
And even now with it, it's cool. We're in, and the weather's very changeable very quickly. So you probably had to design with mostly zone 5 material, something that
five
had
and six.
5 and 6 material. So let's start with this group of Hydrangea paniculatas here.
Well, the cows really enjoy them.
Yeah, the cows. You can maybe hear the cows down there. I don't know how much they'll hear it in the microphone.
Okay. Yeah. These are limelight hydrangeas, and these are here because they get so tall and this deck is raised up a good bit. But I tell you what, on a clear day when there are just some puffy cumulus clouds up there, it looks like you inverted the sky, and this is what you see down here. I mean, it looks like the cloudy sky.
Yeah.
Or you're sandwiched in between a marshmallow sandwich, basically, is how it feels.
Well, you're getting more color up here with these cooler nights this time of year. In Charlotte, where you are, and Raleigh, where we are, we tend not to get this color change. That happens on them. Also, these leaves are quite big, and the inflorescences are quite big. I'm guessing that them being asleep longer is probably helpful. I mean, just being more cold stratification, and then the consistent moisture.
There's no irrigation up here. You really don't need it.
So they're not. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. It's amazing on the top of a ball like this, though, that it would stay moist enough. You know what I mean? It seems like it would be. This would be the dry spot on this mountain, and somehow it still has enough moisture.
For sure.
To work with here. How many plants was that, you think?
It's probably 15, maybe.
15. Okay, gotcha. How long ago was this installation actually done?
Well, these were put in before we did the area we're going to look at, so these have probably been here about 10 years.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So we're going to walk along here. So what was your kind of design idea here overall? I mean, obviously they have a view in every direction that you don't want to mess with.
So absolutely, there's no way to compete with this, nor would you want to if you could. And so I wanted to do a garden that gave a nod to what we have around here, but also one that kind of faded into the grasslands that extend out from here.
Right.
And then my kind of working concept or the vision I had for this lower area was kind of tectonic plates, because I'm assuming that's how these mountains were constructed, millions and billions of years ago. And I just thought that would be kind of a cool way to subconsciously speak to sort of the spirit of the place.
Right. Yeah, beautiful. Let's walk down here and see. Yeah, this is it's an impressive view.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. No, not bad at all. But I can see what you mean by trying to just kind of fade it into the natural environment around it.
Right.
So you haven't blocked anything from the house view up there.
No.
And then you're going from a lot of ornamental shrubs into that grass, into your grasses there, I guess.
Right.
Is that part of your plan?
And these kind of mounding plants actually mimic in shape the mountain ranges behind us, but they do give just a little bit of separation, because I wanted to make this feel like its own little special place. And so those really help a lot too.
Yeah, there's a lot of pollinator plants here too.
We like the pollinators up here.
Yeah. Well, did they have requests about this, or did they let you go wild?
They kind of let me go wild with most of it. I mean, clearly they like hydrangeas, so we wanted some of those.
Right.
And this slope is pretty steep, and so I wanted to use plants with rhizomatous root systems or spreading plants that would hold hold the soil and hold the mulch in place.
Right.
And all these have done a great job, from the gray owl junipers, which is such a big box store plant, but I love this plant.
Yeah, I like
and look
it
how
too.
great it looks with the stone.
Yeah,
It just
as,
really
as
works.
junipers go, gray owl is definitely right at the top of the right at the top. Probably underused. You're saying it's widely available, but probably underused.
Oh, definitely underused.
Yeah.
And then the mountain mint, they wanted some of that. Actually, I pulled this out of my garden down the road.
Right.
You know, it doesn't take long to make a big mound.
No, it does not take. Yeah, mountain mint can really claim some space. I was hiking with my son in the South Carolina mountains last week, and when you find a patch of it, it's a patch of it. It can take over some space.
Yeah.
The Joe Pye. What's Joe Pye weed? Is this?
Actually, that's Little Joe.
It's just little. Okay,
But it
gotcha.
grows bigger up here.
Right. It's just got some. It's got some vigor to it.
Yeah.
The asters. We're filming this. What are we? The first week of September right now.
Yeah.
Asters are going off. The mountain mint's still going off. The Joe Pye weed.
And there are even layers of that. You've got more asters up top, so you kind of have these little windows to kind of peek through and use for repetition.
Yeah. Who did the stonework up here?
A local stonemason did this. The steps actually were inspired. The clients went to Rome on vacation and just loved the grand staircases in Rome.
Right.
So they did that. They said
Right.
it took about a year, I think, for the stonemason.
Yeah.
Things move slower up here than they do in the city.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
that's
it's
aluminum rail coming down.
So they had that fabricated up here, and then this boulder work didn't take long at all to do.
Yeah.
But I love the little pockets in it because I got to plant sedums, and that's kind of my new thing is sedums and sarracenias. So it was fun to kind of tuck them in along the way.
Yeah, I see it. I see you got various. I see there's some hens and chicks down there as well. We'll get to in just a minute. So
Yeah.
you're finding little pockets here to plug some interesting things
That's
into.
the fun part. And now that the rocks have settled, I see a few more pockets, so I may have to come back.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little pocket of sedum there.
Yeah.
In there. Flat spaces are hard to come by. And
Yes.
this is good. So you got a layer up there that's kind of flat for the parking circle and the house, and then you got this layer here that there probably weren't many of those kind of spots to work with.
No, not too much. So this is a great area to sit and have wine with friends.
What grasses have you leaned on here?
So that is Carl Forster, Calamagrostis,
Calamagrostis.
and it's great. Mine down the hill, I'm in a valley, and it's got fungus because it's rained like every day this summer.
Right.
But up here, there's talking about wind movement,
Yeah.
air circulation. It's definitely not a problem up here. So it's done really well. And then there's a lot of Shenandoah panicum over there. I think we planted about 125 of these, and probably about 100 of the Shenandoah panicum. And then there's some other smaller grasses and a couple carex species tucked in here and there as well.
Yeah, and I like how it just looks like it falls off the world right here in this grass.
Right.
These don't get quite as tall down in Raleigh.
Right.
There's definitely some more vigor. Again, I think when things stay asleep a little longer,
Yeah.
there's some of that vigor plus the constant moisture.
And the other thing I wanted to capture, I do this also if I'm designing a garden on a lake, because you always have wind blowing off the lake. And I think that kinetic movement in a garden is so important. It just adds one more layer to a good garden. And the wind usually is blowing up here as well. So you always have that movement. It's just kind of choreography, really.
And the tall perennials up there are going to move quite a bit as well. I like this where the baptisia is kind of hidden behind this grass a little bit, so it came up, bloomed, and then it kind of got out of the way.
Because then the grasses started to bloom after that.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of layering. It's back in
We've
here.
got Verbena bonariensis mixed in. There's some Liatris mixed in. Different things to kind of pepper through to give it a little bit more color in addition to the texture and the form that it has.
I imagine nature up here will add a goldenrod here and a couple things here or there.
That's tending to happen.
Right, yeah. Up here, it's gonna. That's definitely. Is this a Physocarpus or what?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's ginger wine, and it gets so
Ginger.
much sun up here that it's a lot darker than when I plant it down in Charlotte.
Yeah.
This blue Alice cedar, I love blue foliage. I'm a sucker for it. And this is Blue Cascade, which is my favorite one because it's just, everyone's different. It's got like a wild hair day vibe going on. We had a really, really cold winter. I mean, -10 with 70 mile an hour winds up here the first winter after this. And I thought this thing was a goner because I'm already kind of stretching his zonal limits a little bit up
Right.
here. But he came back and he's doing really well now.
Yeah, nice. Let's head down these steps. The next layer. You use a lot of Liatris.
I love Liatris.
Yeah.
That's a spicata.
Okay, gotcha. And that you're I know in your home garden you use it in Charlotte as well.
I do. You know, it seeds very prolifically, so it's not for the lazy gardener. So
Right.
I always warn my clients beforehand. If you're a gardener, if you like to dig and pulling weeds is awesome therapy, then this is the plant for you. If not, maybe not so much.
Yeah, we get the rabbits like to get them when they're young. And keep
People
them
tell
at
me
bay.
that. Yeah, but I've never had that happen.
Keep them at bay just a bit. These, you got hens and chicks and sedums and.
So the backstory behind this was originally they didn't want to have steps here. And I'm like,
gotcha.
you got to have steps.
Yeah.
And so this was designed wider. And then the steps came in. And he thanked me last week for putting these steps in.
Yeah.
And so then we had that opportunity to plant the succulents and sempervivums and stuff
Yeah.
along the sides, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
Yeah.
No, and this is a panicum on the other side.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Shenandoah.
Yeah.
It's a hillside creeper, Pinus sylvestris.
Oh, is it? Okay,
it's
gotcha,
gonna
gotcha.
It's going to get really wide, so eventually it'll come out and cover a lot of that, and then we can just push those Kalunas back.
Gotcha. And they're like zone 2 hardy or something, I think,
Yeah.
right? That's this Scots pines. What else are you using up in here?
I've got some heathers, 2 or 3
Yes.
different kinds of heathers. Got the phenomenal lavender, which is reblooming for them. It never does for me, but it's done really well up here. There's so much summer humidity up here, even though it's not hot up here, we have the
Right.
humidity, and that's a really good one. You know, obviously bred for heat and humidity.
Yeah.
And clay soil too, not bad with that. And then I used a lot of creeping junipers. Again, it kind of goes back to my vision of the tectonic plates moving. So very common, we've got the blue row, we've got the motherlode.
Motherlode, which is basically the gold blue rug.
Exactly,
Right.
and they look really good together. I like to do that. And then the blue star junipers, kind of little puffy blue clouds.
Yeah.
We did use some specimen conifers because they're like me. I love conifers and I love contorted and weeping trees. Trees that take arthritis to an art form is what I always say.
You're right.
So we
Yeah.
just for punctuation and rhythm, we used 3 of the weeping white spruces, and then we've got different arborvitaes mixed in. We've got this thunderhead pine, which is taking a very unusual form. Usually they don't maintain a shape like that. And then we have the hillside creeper, as I said, over there.
Yeah.
And then the Dobbs frosted, these kind of topiary guys, which I kind of like in here because they're windblown, and clearly there's lots of wind up here.
That's another one we have in our garden. Of course, we'll try.
Yeah.
We'll try pretty much anything. Any conifer, even if they don't want to be there.
Right.
But again, the grass is just kind of blending in, at kind of the edge of the earth here.
Right.
It's really a good touch. Are these white wedding hydrangeas here?
Yes.
So the white weddings stay a little bit more compact,
Yeah.
but they're also getting that color in them. And I can see the cows down below that have been talking to us
Yeah.
the whole time. The Russian sage holds up. I mean,
It does. You'd think maybe with the humidity that we have in the summer, it wouldn't do so well in the daily rains, but it's on a slope and it's done really well.
yeah, the drain. I say that sometimes with drainage. Is there's some plants, like rhododendrons, we say, well, they don't like wet feet, but then you see them in the mountains, they're sitting in water basically, or the water's running over the roots on them. It's not that they don't like water, they don't like yesterday's water. Right? Yeah. They want oxygenated water. They're fine with oxygenated water, with water that's actually moving a little bit. Is Humalo, what is this?
Yes. That is one of my very favorite perennials.
Yeah.
Yes, after Verbena bonariensis, it's my favorite.
Yeah, and it's so good. I mean, it's one of those that just, the foliage looks so good on it afterwards. Of course, we're near the end of the season now, so
and even up here with this much sun, it's got a nice, really red tint to the leaves, which is kind of nice.
Use a lot of Coreopsis, and I have always been not the biggest Coreopsis fan, but which ones are your kind of go-to Coreopsis?
I like this one, it's a Zagreb.
Zagreb, which has been around for a long time.
And then I like red satin, which is hard to find, but it's pretty much the burgundy version of this.
Do you find in Charlotte that you can do them well as well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I love the foliage on this. It's just so feathery, almost fern-like in a way.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes you want to roll around in it because it just looks so soft.
Yeah, we were up at a nursery up in Connecticut a few weeks ago, and they had this giant area of Coreopsis and new Coreopsis breeding. I was like, I may have to take another look at Coreopsis just in
I think
general.
you should. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. What Thuja occidentalis is that? Do you know? Do you remember?
I forget which one because I've used so many over the years.
Yeah, me too. There's so many of them. There's must be 50 that proclaim to only get a foot round, and then you come back in 20 years and they'll all be 3,
Some of those
4
nanas aren't really nana-ish after 20 years.
Yeah.
But I like how they're kind of tucked in here with the boulders. It softens it, and again, it gives you some punctuation and rhythm through the pathway.
All right, let's find another spot. This is quite the view, Jay.
It's awesome. You can't compete with it for sure.
No, and so that would be a problem with designing in a space like this. It's not, like you said, you can't outcompete it, nor do you want to block it in any way. So you're not going to come up here and do a bunch of trees. I don't see, is there a single leafy evergreen plant in this design? I don't think you can't have them up here really, can you? I mean, maybe rhododendrons, outside of rhododendrons.
Yeah, not so much up here, no.
Yeah, once you get to this kind of wind and this open space, the leafy evergreen. So you got conifers, and then deciduous, and then herbaceous stuff that dies back to the ground and gets out of the way in the wintertime. Tell us about this bank.
This is one of my very favorite plants, all gold, shore juniper, Juniper conferta. And look at this. I mean, it holds that color year round. It does kind of bronze out a little bit in the winter. It's kind of an orangey cast, which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not.
Because you can always say something good about seasonal interest, I think.
Yeah.
And it just fills in and covers, and it's just like a luscious mound you just want to jump into. And then this Oregon green, Pinus nigra, just coming up out of it is it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we got. So I make that face towards Steph because we have one that's like this tall, you know, and it's going to be, for us, it's not going to, by the time it's like that we won't,
Looks like big raccoon tails on steroids.
Yeah, right, yeah. How big was this one when it went in?
About half that size. Up here it grows slower now. I've got 4 of them in my garden down the valley, and they've grown much faster than this one, but this is more of a harsh condition up here.
Yeah. What a plant, though. I mean, what a plant. And the cone, I love the cones on that.
Yeah.
You got some lamb's ear down in the bottom. Is that a cotoneaster?
It
over
is.
by the wall.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, which one is that? It looks like a variegated one.
It is a variegated one, and I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
There's a happy thalictrum coming up, though, behind it.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Those do like to seed around as well.
Right, yeah. But I do. Cotoneaster, really, I think we probably sold more of it in the 80s at the garden center, and then it just fell out of favor so far that it's gone. It's like non-existent in people's minds, and it's definitely useful.
There are a lot of ugly cotoneasters in the world, but that one is in a perfect space because it's like a waterfall just coming down the hill, and that's a good use for it.
Yeah, for sure. What's your blue spruce here? Which one is that one?
That one I don't remember.
Okay, gotcha. Well, there's so many ones that are dwarf. It doesn't. I mean, I can imagine why you don't remember.
Yeah,
everyone. They're all nana something.
Yeah. There's the American ginkgo up there, of course.
That
one I do remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks great. They probably get good fall color up here too, where we kind of tend to not get as much fall color. What's in this? The Fothergilla in the back. Beautiful. What you got going on here?
We've got this beautiful Cole's prostrate weeping dwarf hemlock. I like to plant the dwarf ones because if you ever have to spray for woolly adelgid, you can just get your neem oil or something and just, spray. If it's 80 feet tall, it's a whole different ball of wax.
Right.
Of course, the weeping Norway spruce. Again, trees that take arthritis to an art form.
Yeah.
You've got that. You've got your curly tops pine behind you.
And I take that back. We have an azalea. We have
He's hiding out. He's kind of
right. So he's blocking the wind a little bit, and this
Sheltered
might be like a
location.
PJM
Yeah.
rhododendron. Is that what that is
Right.
right there? So there's two leafy. We found two leafy evergreen plants. We sure did.
They're hiding out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's this pine here?
That is mini twists.
Mini twist. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love these with you got the blue and the green in the same in the same
Yeah. Yeah.
piece. Wow.
Yeah.
That was how big was that when it went in?
About a third that size, probably.
Okay, so it's actually put on some.
That one has grown really well. Yeah.
Cryptomeria does okay, but it's probably got to be slightly hidden up
It
here
does.
too. I would think.
It needs to be sheltered up here.
And that's Globosa nana or
does.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then a lot of these ferns just kind of came up.
Yeah, I think the gift. It's going to be gifts up here. You're definitely going to get gifts at the top of these mountains. My son and I were hiking down in South Carolina, like I said a little while ago. Just a few, it's like every herbaceous thing in the world seems to find the top. Any opportunistic sun space in the mountains, it's going to get it's going to get a perennial.
Yeah, it's just amazing how things that we consider shade plants do so well up here in full sun.
Right. Yeah.
Just a function of the temperature.
And we were talking about the astilbe, and we would have to hide all these conifers in Raleigh. The vast majority of them we'd have to hide. At least hide the roots on. So I think Steph just said this is quintessential you. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. The colors and the textures together, that's where you just have this kind of mastery. We tend to want to collect one of every plant in the world, but you as a landscape designer, you're trying to do something that's you need to do something more cohesive and present a lot of plants at the same time.
Well, I think, if you plant 500 panicums in a group, it's going to read as one unit, not 500 individual units.
Right.
So you can really have a very lush, full, voluptuous garden and still kind of have some semblance of minimalism involved, which you'll see more down there than up here on this border. But texture is so important, and I think people don't really understand texture. For so long, when I first started out, I didn't want any color in the garden other than green, because I was learning about how to use texture and how to layer it, how to showcase it, that sort of thing. And then I brought color back into the mix after I really understood texture. But, texture is going to be here in many cases year round, where flowers, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and they're gone.
Right. Yeah. And that is the hardest thing to teach. And we'll frequently take a plant and just move it around the garden. We're so out of space that, we only have a few places to plug in. A lot of times a plant will tell you where it belongs if you give it a second. Yeah. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, rather than this is where it goes and dig the hole, we'll move a pot for a little while. Yeah. And it'll go, oh, that's it. That's actually the spot where it belongs. So again, just recapping, you've done such a good job here of not competing.
You can't compete. You really can't compete, but you can really, I think, capture the genius loci or the spirit of the place, and that's what I've really tried to do here.
Right.
To build on it, not to compete with it, is really important.
So we're standing on the kind of a flatter space, as flat as you can get here, and you can still see the color that you've done here. But you haven't blocked out. There's nothing that's rising above the trees that are naturally on that line, so you can still see out from it. Right. Just kind of perfect. And then the movement, I don't think we can emphasize anymore in this kind of breeze up here. It would be weird to have a bunch of rigid.
That's why those dumb frosted junipers that are kind of topiary and windswept look work so well up here. I think because everything up here is windswept.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, thank you so much, Jay, for showing us another one of your, masterclass gardens that we've been able to see. So
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, everyone.